I remember checking the scoreboard and I could not believe what I saw. You can only imagine the joy that I felt in my heart.
I don't really think much should have been made of that. Chiefs are good enough to bounce back. That's Mr. Anchif and Gabriel Sekopo, the fourth official. Daniel Bennett will be getting us underway.
This is a fond memory of mine, and this is the South Africa I would not like to forget. But the truth is, democracy sold us a dream. But democracy without real power for the majority is only a ritual. People are told to vote, to trust the process, yet year after year they vote and their material condition remain the same. This is because democracy only works when the majority votes in overwhelming numbers for policies that favor the majority, not personalities, slogans, fear, or surface level narratives. Democracy does not collapse overnight. It fails slowly. It fails when economic power remains concentrated, when wealth does not circulate, when jobs disappear, when public services decline, yet the same economic infrastructure is protected. People are then told to be patient, as if time alone can correct injustice. The hard truth is this: you cannot vote your way out of inequality if you keep voting for policies that protect inequality. If policies remain unchanged, it makes little to no difference who occupies political office. Power follows policy, and policy follows economic interest. Many people judge politics at face value. They ask who speaks well, who appears competent, who sounds reasonable, but they rarely ask the deeper questions. Who owns the economy? Who truly benefits from these policies? And who quietly pays the cost? Without this understanding, democracy becomes a tool used against the people instead of for the people. That is why individual choices are not enough. Individual voices. One person speaking truth can be ignored, and a few voices can be dismissed. But organized clarity and collective understanding cannot be easily silenced. When voices are divided, they sound like idealism. But when united, these very voices become a movement of practical solutions. History shows that non-violent pressure works, collective action works, political and economic awareness work. What does not work is hoping that a broken system will suddenly become just on its own. When democracy fails the people, the answer is not chaos or withdrawal. The answer is political maturity. And political maturity means understanding economics, not just elections. Supporting policies, not personalities. Building alternative systems where if system fails, we hold leaders accountable beyond just election day. Above all, political maturity means voting decisively and consciously for parties whose policies are designed to uplift the majority in real material terms. Democracy without economic justice.
It's now looking to get something here. Vilagazi's laid it off. Oh, Maniatella! It's Kevin in his first match against the mighty Chiefs. Leslie Maniatella has got a goal. It is his fifth goal in 6 games now. And a very important scoreline for a man who's now got 7 in the Premiership this season, moving into 3rd place on his own among the top goal scorers in the Premiership. Vilagazi played it perfectly to him. Baloy had to come, almost made the save, and Mabedi on the line just couldn't keep it out. Leslie Maniatella gets a 7th in the league. And Pirates lead Chiefs by 1 goal to 0. Maniatella becoming the 6th man to score in the Premiership for Pirates against Chiefs over the years. Well finished off. He showed good, cool, calm and collected finishing there. And his goal midway through the first half has given Pirates the lead. Well, that was a turn up for the books. Deshi was commenting on how well Chiefs were looking going forward. How will Amakosi respond? Defending champions in the league. Lead through Maniatella's goal. He scored against Zoa. Fredericks takes the ball. Rocky. And that's behind. Well, news from the touchline, Deshi.
When you vote and you're voting because you are angry at the ANC, it's not gonna work in your favor. Because, let me tell you something, guys. Under the status quo, and by the status quo I mean under how things are currently, black people have never received economic freedom. This means that since the apartheid days, white people have always been calling the shots at the boardroom. It has never changed economically. It's apartheid still, because black people were never compensated for what happened during apartheid. And people who are voting based on the fact that they are angry at the ANC are blind. They don't understand what is happening. I'm not saying that the ANC is not corrupt, but corruption is merely a drop in the ocean. If you can pay attention, you'll understand that out of 100%, this is 100%. The ANC only controls 20% of the economy. The rest is in the private sector. The private sector owned by the people who have never been hungry since apartheid. The people who took everything by force are still the people with money even today. So for you to vote for a white man thinking it's gonna change things, you're gonna realize that you made the wrong decision. Because the next thing you know, the racists that were hiding behind closed doors, that were signing up on TikTok with fake names, with pictureless profiles, will come back and show their faces. And this time they will be laughing at you. You think that old man with Freedom Front Plus cares about you? He's probably laughing at how desperate we've become as black people. And let me tell you something, voting for this man might get the investors back. It might get white people investing back in South Africa, but it's never gonna work for the black man. It's gonna work for the white people. It's not gonna work for you. We are marginalized not because of anything. We are marginalized because the status quo has not changed. We are yet to receive our economic freedom. South Africa does not need another election, especially under the status quo, because democracy will never work, because democracy is corrupted by capitalism. Even if our leaders can try and do the right thing, they'll never be able to do it, because like this is every one of us. Let's say you are in office there at the municipality and you see that the workers in your district are not being treated fairly, you try and become a hero, and it's either you're gonna receive a death threat or a bribe. So maybe let's say like a company exec comes to you, the company CEO contacts you, and they like, hey, I see you are a really good leader for the community, and they invite you over for dinner or for lunch. They bring you to the dinner table, and at the dinner table they give you a brown envelope there, and when you open, it's like 50,000 rands. They're like, we like what you're doing, blah 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 blah, and they change the narrative. Now they have you. They have you. You are thinking in your mind, you're like, yo, yes, at the municipality I make like 8,000 rands on a good month. When they are lenient, when they feel nice, they give me 10,000 rands for overtime. But a 50,000 bucks, and they tell you that no, this can be reoccurring, we can do this thing quarterly, four times a year you're gonna receive this, just make sure that the workers behave. Now the narrative has changed. You are no longer concerned about the livelihood of the people in the township. Now you are thinking of all the things you could do for your family with this money. And this is for every one of us. Everybody is corruptible. So if you're gonna vote thinking that, hey, I'm voting, I'm done with the ANC, it's gonna come down crumbling, my guy. You're gonna be the same person complaining that, hey, these, because trust me, South Africa does not need an election. We need economic revolution. We need spiritual revolution. We need a bureaucratic revolution. We need to change the laws of this country so that they favor the majority. And the problem is, white people were programmed to believe that they are better than black people. Black people were programmed to believe that they are less than white people. And both these people, because of this lie, are experiencing generational trauma. That is the common thing that black people and white people have under the status quo. And this is not only for South Africa, it's global. Every one of us, we are under siege. Mentally, psychologically, spiritually, we are divided, and nothing can happen for a humanity that is divided. That is why you can go to your Camps Bay in Cape Town, you'll find somebody on medication, they are depressed. You'll find somebody on anxiety medication, you'll find somebody on bipolar medication. In the suburbs, you can investigate now who is unaliving themselves, who's killing themselves. You'll find out this thing does not know any race, it does not know any color, because under the status quo, we are all in a mental prison. That is why you often hear people saying that we are all prisoner of circumstance, life is unfair. Those are the narratives under the status quo. And it's all a lie. Life should feel way better than this. Life should feel way, way, way more effortless than this. We don't need to lose our minds trying to make things work. It should feel natural. But let me tell you something. At one point in the history of humanity, people started chasing artificial comfort over spiritual connection. People started, buying things like beds. They started just being modern at the expense of their overall well-being. And today we are reaping the rewards in inverted commas, of a greedy few people that sat around a table in 1880 something at a conference in Berlin, Germany. They were angry. They came from scarcity and they found this continent, Africa, to be thriving. When they got here, they saw how free people were. Food was in abundance. Scarcity was a rumor. Spirituality was thriving. And these people came back to Africa and they felt that, no way, how come these guys have lived so well all this time? And you have to understand that the only reason why they felt like this is because of trauma. The trauma of having been exiled from the very Africa. For the longest time, even today, power rules. Power calls the show. The most powerful person in the room is the most successful person in the room. So in my theory, this is my theory, I feel like when we was primates, the weaker primates, they had to leave the origin, they had to migrate and go search for greener pastures, only to find deserts out there, like only to find that things were difficult out there, and these primates evolved to be these white people who became trapped, living in scarce, in places overrunning with scarcity, overrunning with cold weather. You understand? So their minds ripened under those difficult situations. You have to understand that every difficult situation in life that you face will teach you a lesson, and they learned to think diabolically. That, like, their mind just went amok. Their minds just started running amok, and they thought of all the evils in the world. And when they found people living in peace, thriving in their spiritual ways, they were conflicted. They wanted to settle the score, and after 300 and something years of colonial times in Africa, in South Africa, it is clear that nobody is thriving under the status quo. Nobody. I'm talking black, white, Indian, whatever their creed, whatever their sexual orientation, nobody is thriving under the status quo. That is one thing we have in common. That is why democracy will never work under the status quo. The only time democracy will work in South Africa is if all South Africans, all Africans become politically literate. All of us learn what it really means when somebody says politics. Because I feel like a lot of people judge a lot of these things at face value. You think that I'm angry at such and such, so this is how things are gonna work. It does not work like that. Politics is a dirty game. Because at face value, you might be looking and seeing people that are fighting, that it's just political correctness. They want you to think of it in a certain way. In the background, they are collaborating. They are like, yeah, we are working very well. These people are divided. They'll never, like, come on, guys. Politicians and the corporate world, they'll never agree in your face, because then you will know that you've been played. They'll always say the right things for you to be fooled by them.
Chiefs handed out a thrashing to Cosmos just 3 weeks ago. And this is a great finish from Vilagazi. He got it at the wrong angle. He was played behind him by Chikoya. Look how well he turns. And chips Baloy. It's a great finish. The Pirates lead by 3 goals to 0.